Welcome to the Restless Mind Podcast, your go-to for mental, emotional, and holistic wellness. Join us as we dive into mindfulness, self-care, and psychology tips for finding balance and clarity. Subscribe now and start your journey toward a healthier, more peaceful you.
Today, we're going to be diving into the world of narcissism.
Oh, fun.
It is fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not diagnosing anybody today, no couch sessions or anything like that. We are going to be talking all about how to handle conversations with highly narcissistic people. You know those moments when someone says something to you and you're just kind of left thinking, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
We've got you.
Absolutely.
Expert speaker and I are going to break down some of those classic narcissistic phrases that can leave you feeling confused, frustrated, maybe even a little bit manipulated.
Yeah, and we're not just going to define them, but we're really going to unpack the why behind the words and give you some tactics to navigate these conversations in a way that protects you.
I love it, the music in my ears.
Yeah.
And to make sure we're all on the same page today, we are working from an article by Dr. Ramani Devasula. She is a psychologist, specializes in narcissism, so we're in good hands.
She's brilliant. She provides such clear insights into how the narcissistic mind works.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with a phrase that's almost comical in its irony. I don't want to make this about me, but I mean, wow, the second you hear that, you know, you're about to be on a one-way trip to Planet Me.
It's like clockwork. You can practically set your watch to it. And what's so fascinating is that it often stems from this deep-seated need for attention, but also this real struggle with sharing conversational space.
Like a conversational black hole.
Yes, exactly.
Just sucking the air right out of the room.
Because, of course, in their world, nothing is more important than what they have to say.
So if you find yourself face-to-face with someone who pulls out this line, what's the play? Because it feels like you're automatically on the defense.
You're spot on. And it's crucial to remember that you're not obligated to engage in this deep, meaningful conversation every time. Sometimes it's more about preservation. I always think of it like politely listening to a podcast while you're making dinner.
Okay.
You're not necessarily invested in every word, but you're present enough to kind of nod along. Don't feel pressured to contribute or to try to fix anything.
Okay, so setting those mental boundaries key.
Yeah.
And speaking of deflecting responsibility, another phrase that we hear sometimes, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
It almost sounds sincere, doesn't it?
It has that air of apology, you know, like they're acknowledging your feelings, but there's zero ownership over their own actions. And that's a big red flag because genuine apologies require genuine remorse. And that's something that's often missing with narcissism.
Right. It's all about shifting the blame back onto you and your feelings instead of addressing their own behavior.
Yeah.
I remember one time, actually, you know what? We'll save that story for another time.
Okay.
But it is amazing how those phrases can trigger those, wait, what just happened here? Moments.
Yeah, they have this uncanny ability to twist things around and make you question your own reality.
It's true.
But the more we understand the why behind these tactics, the more empowered we become in those interactions.
Yes, knowledge is power. So if someone hits you with that, I'm sorry you feel that way, how do you respond without getting caught in that loop of feeling responsible for their actions?
Honestly, sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all, just disengage.
Okay.
It's about recognizing the pattern and choosing not to play their game. You can't control their behavior, but you can control how you react to it. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is just observe and walk away.
Don't argue with a brick wall.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's not about being rude. It's about protecting your own peace of mind. And sometimes silence speaks volumes.
Okay, so we've tackled the subtle deflections.
Yeah.
But let's dive into something a bit more charged.
Yeah.
How about this, Jem? Why are you doing this to me?
Oh.
Talk about a classic manipulation tactic.
It's textbook victim mentality. They are masters at flipping the script and making you, the listener, feel like you're the problem.
It's incredible how they can twist things around to make you feel like you're the one in the wrong.
Right.
It's like that feeling you get when
you're with someone who's complaining about how early they have to wake up, but you're the one who's been up all night taking care of a sick kid.
you read my mind.
Yeah.
It's those moments where you're like, am I actually the villain in this story? And that's when you know you're really dealing with a master manipulator.
And that's precisely why self-awareness is so crucial in these situations. It's about taking a step back and realizing that their reaction is not about you, it's about them and their need to be the center of attention, even when it's completely unwarranted.
It's like they're allergic to personal responsibility, and so they just fling it at anyone within a 5-foot radius?
Yes.
But how do we sidestep that emotional landmine without getting blown up ourselves?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get sucked into that vortex of self-doubt.
You're absolutely right. It's about having that inner compass and reminding yourself that you are not responsible for their emotions or their behavior. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. Seek support from someone who is empathetic and understanding, someone who can remind you that you are not the problem, especially when the narcissist in your life is trying to convince you otherwise.
It's like having that friend that can just talk you off the ledge when you start questioning your own sanity.
Yes.
Having that external validation, I think, can be so grounding, especially when you're dealing with someone who thrives on chaos and confusion.
Absolutely.
So if you find yourself facing down the, "Are you doing this to me?" grenade, just remember, it's not about you. It's about them and their inability to take responsibility for their own actions.
Perfectly said. Now, are you ready to unpack another one of these tricky phrases?
Hit me with it. I'm ready for anything at this point.
All right, how about this one? I'm a busy person. I don't have time for this. Sounds familiar, right?
Oof. Yeah, that one stings. It's like the ultimate brush off.
It's the conversational equivalent of getting ghosted, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, it cuts even deeper when it's something important, like a work project or something that actually does need their attention.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying your needs, yeah, not my problem.
Exactly. And I think that's such a key point here with narcissists. It's often about their complete lack of empathy and their inability to recognize that other people have needs and feelings too.
Right.
It's not that they don't see your needs, it's that they simply don't care. They're so consumed by their own world that yours barely registers as a blip on their radar.
So how do we deal with that? Because you can't force someone to care, right?
You can't trust me, I've tried. But seriously, you have to recognize their limitations and accept that you're not going to get what you need from them emotionally. It's like trying to squeeze water from a stone. It's just not going to happen. So instead of wasting your energy on that empty well, focus on building relationships with people who are actually present and invested in you and your well-being.
So it's about shifting your focus to those who are truly there for you.
Yeah.
And recognizing that you deserve that kind of reciprocal relationship.
Precisely. It's about understanding your own worth and not settling for crumbs of attention or validation,
Like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. Speaking of which, this next phrase that we're going to unpack is a bit heavier, but it's so important to recognize, that feeling you get when someone says something that just sends chills down your spine, like a subtle threat disguised as a casual comment.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like that feeling you get when
someone says, "I hope you know who you're messing with." It's a power play, plain and simple, and it's designed to instill fear and make you question whether it's even worth speaking up at all.
It's the ultimate conversation killer. You're just about to make a good point, and then bam, they hit you with that line, and suddenly you're questioning everything.
Exactly, because on the surface, it might not sound like a direct threat, but the underlying message is clear. Step back, or there will be consequences. And it's particularly effective because it plays on our natural desire to avoid conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most people given the choice would much rather back down than call someone out on a veiled threat.
So it's like they're weaponizing our own good nature against us. It's so sneaky.
It really is.
So what do you do if you find yourself on the receiving end of that kind of intimidation? I mean, it's easy to say stand your ground, but when you're in the heat of the moment, it's a whole different ballgame.
You're right. It's not always easy to stay calm and collected when someone is trying to intimidate you, but that's why it's so important to have a plan in place before you find yourself in that situation. So first and foremost, trust your gut. If you feel unsafe in any way, remove yourself from the situation immediately. Your safety is paramount, and you should never underestimate your intuition. Second, documentation is key. If there's a pattern of these types of comments or behaviors, start keeping a record of them, dates, times, specific phrases used, anything that helps paint a picture of the pattern. And if you ever feel like your physical safety is being threatened, don't hesitate to contact the authorities.
Documentation is such good advice because it's so easy to gaslight yourself and think, maybe I am overreacting. But having that written record can really help you stay grounded in reality, especially if you're dealing with someone who's constantly trying to distort it.
Absolutely. It's about having that evidence to support your experience, especially if you ever need to involve a third party.
It's like having those receipts, just in case you ever need to prove that, yes, this person is trying to play mind games with you.
Exactly. And speaking of mind games, let's move on to another phrase that's often used as a manipulation tactic. It's not fair.
Oh, the classic, it's not fair plea, because naturally the rules don't apply to them.
Right. It goes back to that sense of entitlement we were talking about earlier. Narcissists often operate from this belief that they are special and exempt from the rules that govern everyone else. So when they experience consequences for their actions, or even worse, when someone else is getting something they want, they cry foul.
Because how dare the world not revolve around them? It's wild.
You said it. And what makes this phrase so tricky is that it often triggers our own sense of fairness. We're kind of wired to want things to be equitable. So when someone plays the "it's not fair" card, it can be easy to get sucked into their drama.
So how do we avoid that trap? Because I'll admit I've definitely fallen for it before.
Yeah.
You want to believe that people are inherently good and that they'll play fair, but that's not always the reality, is it?
It's not. But here's the key. You are not responsible for managing their emotions or making life fair for them. Remember that setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-preservation. It's about deciding what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not, and communicating those boundaries clearly and assertively. And sometimes that means accepting that you can't fix everything or make everyone happy, especially when you're dealing with someone who thrives on drama and chaos.
It's about recognizing that you can't control their behavior, but you can control how you respond to it. And sometimes the healthiest response is to simply walk away.
Exactly. It's about choosing your battles wisely and recognizing that sometimes the best way to win is to simply not play the game.
It's like realizing you don't have to play chess with pigeons. You know,
Right.
they're just going to knock over the pieces, poop on the board, and strut around like they won anyway.
That's a fantastic analogy. And it really does illustrate that importance of recognizing when someone is unwilling or unable to engage in that healthy, respectful dialogue. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to simply walk away from the game.
It's about protecting your own energy and sanity, right? Because you can't reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. So as we wrap up this deep dive into these narcissistic phrases, what's your biggest takeaway for our listeners? What's the one thing you really hope they remember?
You know, I would say this knowledge is power, but self-awareness is your superpower. The more you understand these manipulative tactics and the why behind them, the less likely you are to get caught in their web. You have the power to choose how you respond, even when it feels like you're being backed into a corner.
It's about recognizing that you deserve to be treated with respect, and you don't have to tolerate behavior that makes you feel small, insignificant, or unheard.
Precisely. You are worthy of healthy reciprocal relationships where your voice matters and your needs are valued. Don't settle for anything less.
Amen to that. This has been such an eye-opening conversation. Expert speaker, I feel like I've learned so much about navigating these tricky conversational waters. And for our listeners, remember, you are not alone in this. We've all encountered these phrases and felt that twinge of, wait a minute, is this even about me anymore? And the more we talk about it, the more empowered we become to set those boundaries and protect our own well-being.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to this and something resonated with you today, share this episode with a friend. Because sometimes just knowing that you're not alone in your experience can make all the difference.
That's such a great reminder. And for all of you deep divers out there, what narcissistic phrases have you encountered? What strategies have you found helpful in navigating those conversations? Keep those thoughts churning. It just might lead you down another deep dive of your own. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay true to yourselves.